It's very strange. A lot of movies, in the way they sort of use kid language, they sound like Taco Bell commercials, where it's like hashtag chalupa. I mean, it makes me want to like curl up in a ball and die.
What happens when you get a young Bollywood story portrayed by millennial actors produced by boomer producers? You get Ishq Vishk Rebound. This was the Bollywood offering this weekend, and I could not help myself but be baffled by the pretentious and almost lazy writing in this film. While I want to tell you why the film became such a misfire, I also wanted to focus on a larger sort of overarching theme regarding why Hindi cinema, with its stories portraying young adults, almost seems dated and out of touch. See, I know this movie is meant to be carefree fluff. I'm not stepping in for something compelling. I'm not being an angry, out-of-date boomer. I know it's going to be a cookie cutter screenplay, and what's the harm in some nonchalant fun? But being baffled by just the randomness of it all is a journey that I want to take you on, because I can't be handling all the cringe myself. See, Ishq Vishk, Shahid Kapoor's debut, is a film that I have seen countless number of times. I literally learned the choreography ace by Shahid in several of the musical numbers, and despite the film, being problematic, yes, the movie has not aged well at all, there was a certain abandon and energy reflective of boundless youth that was undeniable. The vibe and energy aside, that was also coupled with the star-like quality of the lead and the convincing performances of the actresses that really made you feel like the future is bright. But why can't I say this unanimously for most of the unknown faces in this knockoff that essentially just borrows the IP for recall value? It's because even a national award-winning director like Nipun Dharmadhikari could not extract even a morsel of something special or memorable. But what went wrong? The film focuses on three friends. Rohit Saraf playing Raghav, who is best friends with Sahir and Sanya, who are dating each other, played by Jibraan Khan and Pashmina Roshan respectively. Raghav finds himself at constant crossroads between the couple as he is friends with both of them, and this acts as a stumbling block in his own love life, with Riya played by Naila Grewal. As the film expands to become like every other incestuous school group that dates amongst themselves and never moves on from that echo chamber, the film formulates to become a comedy of errors as Raghav ends up in several sticky and awkward situations. I mean, if the film is trying to convince me that Rohit's character, listen to this, gets picked up by a film producer, played randomly by the way by Kusha Kapila, because she was impressed by the writing of a stage play in Dehradun of all places, and he gets commissioned to write a Bollywood movie. Straight, Seedha. Then RM Nagar folk are going to have a panic attack watching this film. It's a 1 hour 47 minute film, and the music and choreography is extremely subpar. At least it would have been fun if I stepped in for the film and saw some sick dance moves, but no. The Ishq Vishk title track lacks the energy and spunk required. I have to say, Rohit Saraf dances so fluidly, I must give him credit for this, but he's made to dance on Sony, which just seems like a knockoff version of what we saw Shahid Kapoor execute in this same year. The film's marketing has basically been to capitalize on an existing IP and remake songs like Gore Gore Mukhde Pe and Chot Dil Pe Lagi, and none of it is memorable. You know what's the biggest bummer? None of the actors have romantic chemistry with one another. It's so vanilla, so platonic, that even the feelings of young love and recklessness that is inevitable is missing. The film has such a boomer's viewpoint of young love. Rohit falls in love with Naila's character as she is conducting protests on the streets, and our whipped hero just joins in solidarity while giving no about what the cause is. Save the environment as she's handing over paper pamphlets. The makeup department makes sure that in every instance the blush on all the characters is on point. Never have I seen male actors look so decked up. The film wants to be the out of wedlock child of an Imtiaz Ali and Ayan Mukherjee world so bad. Rohit plays a writer, so he is throwing life advice gyan every opportunity that he gets. In a terribly written scene as Pashmina is playing golf, Rohit is giving analogies holding a golf club. Listen to this. Why do you hold this dear to you? Is it because it's expensive? But does it make you happy? Followed by throwing the golf clubs in the water as an attempt to be not bogged down by materialistic things. And then both of them proceed to throw the golf clubs in the water together with the "Teri ladai teri khud se hai, just chuck it." Mere golf clubs nikal pani se. Nahin, I'm serious. They go on a bootleg Ye Jawani Hai Diwani Halloween trip where everyone dresses up as characters and Pashmina in one instance rescues Rohit. You really scratch your head in disbelief and ask yourself कि हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पर? Rohit gets on your nerves in this movie because his life is a total mess, but ज्ञान बांटने के लिए कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ता है ये. In one instance he says, जो चीज खुशी दे उसे पकड़ के रखो, and all you want to tell him is खुद को तो संभाल ले भाई. In one instance, Pashmina tells Rohit, मुझे अपने स्टोरी में क्लीशे मत बना देना, and the film is nothing but filled with cliches. क्लैरिटी का रास्ता कंफ्यूजन से मिलता है एंड रोहित का ज्ञान सुन के आई वाज कॉन्टेम्पलेटिंग व्हाई आई मेड द चॉइस ऑफ वाचिंग द फिल्म इन द थिएटर. द वन थिंग दैट दे हैड गोइंग फॉर देम, the one aspect of the story that could have made it more than a fluff piece is when it momentarily sheds light on Jibraan Khan's toxic familial dynamic. And they managed to make a mockery out of that also by integrating comedy as Rohit keeps on trying to project his boyish charm. I can see the potential of Jibraan as an actor, but after reviewing so many titles featuring Rohit Saraf, I really started to wonder whether he is going to be trapped in this image of the boy next door, still confused about his love life and who gets away with a cheeky smile and charm. This is something that Saif Ali Khan once spoke about, where he was getting exhausted playing the romantic hero in films. And I hope this doesn't turn out to become Rohit Saraf's fate, because the Noah Centineo Netflix trap is as real as it gets.
The soul of the romantic hero is a guy who's confused about his future, and is commitment phobic. And I think that's really irritating after a while to the audience. If, the guy's grown up, he's got been married twice. He's still confused.
The resolutions are so convenient in this film, so basic, you leave the theater feeling nothing. And I wondered, what happened to the young films of Bollywood? What exactly went wrong? And what I realized was it's really reflective of the people who are telling these stories. See, the reason why a film like DDLJ or Kuch Kuch Hota Hai have this insane recall value and charm beyond nostalgia is also because Aditya Chopra and Karan Johar were young filmmakers who were just telling their stories. This is also reflective of, say, like the early days of Coffee with Karan, and why it seemed so organic, fun, and genuinely funny, because Karan was essentially speaking to actors in his age demographic. So the conversations reach a flow state versus the new seasons where a much older host is just playing catch up and desperately trying to fit in with a much younger lot. It gives the boomer uncle energy at the party versus someone who belongs. Much like how SRK from Main Hoon Na really wanted to fit in as he hilariously learns dancing. I'm so hip, I'm so cool, I'm also young. This is why like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani and Wake Up Sid have a love that's quite unmatched even today. A young filmmaker like Ayan Mukherjee just seemed to showcase characters who spoke like how we spoke within our own friend groups. It's also reflective of filmmakers with their initial slate of films when they aren't too corrupted by business dynamics of the film industry. There is a freshness to the stories that just can't be replicated. This is why people love movies like Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na. Again, a first-time director which just had an abandon we don't get to see that often in films. The most important point about these memorable movies was that they did not aim to be a derivative of what already exists. And that's also something that's really missing in today's films. The movies and series based on youth actually had a resurgence of sorts in the 2010s, but there weren't really huge takers for the same, so it almost seems like a dead genre. If you remember movies like Love Ka The End, Mujhse Friendship Karogi, all of these movies attempted to tell stories of either teens or young adults with authenticity. They were fluff sort of cotton candy, aimless fun movies, but at least they were fun. I think a movie that did somewhat check the boxes of authenticity include Kho Gaye Hum Kahan recently, and series like Class and Big Girls Don't Cry. Class may have been reduced in discourse as the rich people problems aisa thodi na hota hai India mein social media trope, but trust me, when you hang around in the elite schools of the metropolitan cities, I see these characters everywhere. Big Girls Don't Cry, a series that went under most people's radar, got the boarding school experience right on point. Especially the angst, adventurous and complicated nature of, growing up. Something that a film back in the day like Rockford did exceptionally well. The problem, however, is that this genre seems to have been reduced to the streaming platforms, and we don't really have another answer to that youthful, energetic film like what we saw more than a decade ago. Films for which we got super pumped and only watched in the theatre. Premalu probably being the only exception to the rule. The lack of young creators and more importantly young faces in Hindi cinema has led to this genre and films being created along similar themes to be few and far between. बस अब horror comedy की wait करो और क्या. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below, why do you think now there is a dearth of young Bollywood movies? Why don't they have a sense of authenticity? Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.